Welcome to episode 154 of Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And I'm Matthew Kay.
And this episode of Beyond the Brick is brought to you by Brickmania.com. Our featured kit this week is the Panzer II German World War II tank. So this is another really awesome, very well detailed kit from Brickmania. A lot of really great details went into the tank with the different spots with the gun and all of that. There's some really well done details in it. So I'll have a link in the description to check this tank out. If you're doing any type of World War II mock, I would definitely encourage you to check out this tank.
And by World War II mock, you mean you just shortcut the mock and just buy this, and then you won't have to build it.
Yeah, or you can use this to make your big World War II layout even cooler with an awesome tank. Yeah, either way works. So I'll have a link in the description for you to check that out if you want to check out the tank and buy it. Now, joining us on the show tonight, we're very happy to have Ara Heiseldal, and I hope I didn't completely butcher your name there. He is 37 years old. He is a TV sports reporter in Norway, and he is part of the Norwegian Log and Brickish Association in the UK. So it's great to have you on the show, Ara.
Thank you. You got the first name quite right. The second name is a version I haven't heard yet, but yeah, it's interesting.
I apologize for that.
At least it's something new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounded slightly Norwegian, so I'll forgive you.
Okay, we'll go for that. I think that's good enough then. So, if you just want to start off by talking a little bit about the Norwegian Lug you're part of, I don't think we've ever had anyone on the show actually from this part of the Norwegian Lug. So, if you want to talk about some of the shows they do and things like that.
Yeah, we have the Norwegian Lug is called Brickmania, which essentially means the Bricks Guild. We've got about 40 active members, and we have a forum with probably close to 150 or 200 members that are not non-paying members who just stop by every now and then. But the active members about 40 to 50. We have an annual event, which is a bit different from other events in that Friday and Saturday are not open to the public. So it's just people get there, set up their stuff. We have some building competitions. We have our annual meeting with budget and board elections and stuff on the Saturday. And then we have dinner in the evening, and we have some barbecue stuff going on. If the weather is right, it's the end of April, so it might be snow, but hopefully not. Yeah, and then it's open to the public on the Sunday for about 4, 5, 6 hours, just for a symbolic fee. And the people that pay that fee, they even get a little minifigure or a model or something like that. So, yeah, it's really they return with more than what they paid for. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. So it's just. Mm-hmm. But the idea is pretty much that the exhibition, the open part of the event is a bonus. So the whole Norway is a. It's a big country. It's a very long country. So the people that travel the furthest probably travel about that would be roughly about 1,000 miles to get there.
Wow.
So it's we don't have many of it. So
it's train time. What would that be, like a day's?
That would be by plane probably, or if they're driving, it's a couple of days. But it's the one event that they go to try to get to that. So yeah.
So it's like a big capstone event kind of thing.
Just
like a big capstone, like a big deal. Like that's the big thing, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's very low key. So it's not a very serious thing. But it's it's nice. It's a good chance to sort of get together and get a feeling of what kind of people actually build in Norway, because well, I don't meet them apart from events. So that's where you want to go if you want to know what they look like and how they actually are.
Totally. Yeah. Are they real people?
Yes, some of them are. Yeah.
Some.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. So, a strong, active Norwegian lug going on there. That's always nice to hear about. Groups of fans getting together in different countries like that. So, very, very cool to hear about that. When did you say your next show is going to be?
It's actually at the end of April, so it's
okay.
3 weeks. Yeah. So just currently trying to finish some stuff for that, which is always hard to find the time to do that. But yeah, there's something in the pipeline. So yeah.
Sounds good. Well, now, if you want to talk a little bit about your history with Lego building, did you build with it as a kid, and did you ever have a dark age? How did that work for you?
Yeah, I can't remember when it started, but I know that the earliest models I had, the earliest sets I had, were sets that were from roughly the same time as I was born. So it must have been early. I don't have any older siblings, so I didn't inherit anything. This was all mine. So it must have been very, very early. I have memories of some Duplo stuff, but mainly it was the Lego City, the town, the classic town sets that were sort of caught my interest.
Legoland brand kind of thing?
Yes, yes. From just around the time when they went from 3-digit to 4-digit set numbers, the earliest sets I have are the sets from probably the first year of the proper minifig. That's, I think, 78 or 9. I think 78.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So some of those sets, and then so yeah, I loved Lego, and my mother used to say that Lego is a blessed toy because I think it saved my parents from a lot of babysitting because
put it in the room with the Lego and forget about it.
Yeah, me and my brother would just babysat ourselves with all the Lego. He had some Fabuland stuff, and I had Lego Town. So yeah, and I played with it. I had like periods where I would just build all the sets and have the sets built, and then I would go just all fantasy and do my own things, and then I would go back to have the sets, and and then that I think I probably gave up on that around probably pretty much the same time that most other kids give up on Lego, and then there was a period where I kept every now and then I would go to the Lego stores or the toy stores and just look at the aisle and being a bit embarrassed about it. And then and actually, but I did buy a couple of models during my dark ages. I think one of them actually, yeah, one of them is right here. I'll just get it.
Okay.
Always the best stuff, right?
This is it's not entirely built, but it's the Blue Fury.
Okay, yeah.
Model team model from I think '96 or so. That was when I was studying, so I got this, and it just fits right in with what I like because I'm a car guy. So I know I needed to have that. But apart from that, I didn't really touch Lego for several years. From I was about, I think, probably about 15 until I was about 30, and then I suddenly realized, I can't remember where I found out, but I realized that hey, Lego is now selling stuff that is aimed at a slightly more adult audience.
Yeah.
So I got on eBay and I bought a cafe corner from an American seller. There was no Norwegian shop at home at the time, so that was the only way to get it, was to buy it. Yeah.
And this was 2008 or thereabouts?
Yeah, yeah.
And there was no Norwegian shop at home. Has that problem been rectified since?
Yes, yes. Probably a year or two later.
That is actually something that's bizarre to think about. That there is no Norwegian shop at home.
No. We're so far from Denmark, so it didn't.
Yeah,
really...
I know.
Well, who would ever think about putting one there?
No.
When you hear that there's like no Tanzanian shop at home, it's like that's understandable, right? No, you know.
Yeah.
But Norway? What?
Yeah. No, there wasn't. So we didn't have any of the exclusives at the time. So they were hard to get. I got them off. We got a cafe corner off eBay from. It's right up on the shelf right here. Off eBay, of an American seller on eBay. It was right after it had been discontinued, but before the prices started to soar. So good timing.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm an adult. I can decide what I want to do with my money. So I'll buy this and I'll build it and I'll see if I like it. I bought it, I built it, and I liked it. So then I contacted the same seller and said, yeah, I see you have this green grocer. And I see you have this Market Street, and I see you have this town plan, and yeah, and it all went a bit crazy from there.
Things started getting out of control there.
Yeah. So, and at some point, I thought, hey, I want to try to build a modular of my own. So I did that, and then I seem to have a genetical defect that doesn't allow me to build buildings without interiors. So that means that if you build a modular with an interior, a detailed interior, it just swallows parts like crazy. So I ended up figuring out that this would just be too expensive. So I thought I need to build something that's smaller. And then I thought, well, I used to like building cars. That's what I grew up doing. So maybe I can still do that. So I did. I built some cars, some minifig scale cars, posted some of them online on Flickr, and yeah, it all went from there, really.
So now, when you were building and you were kind of like getting this collection together and starting to sort of do stuff on your own, was there like some specific event that led you to realize that there was like an online LEGO community or other people like you? What happened there?
I can't remember when I discovered Eurobricks at some point. I can't really remember when, but that was the first online thing I discovered. I didn't know until probably a year or two after I got back into LEGO that there was actually a Norwegian Lug and an actual Norwegian community. I figured I was the only one, which is I understand quite a normal phase to go through. And then, yeah, at some point I became a member of the Norwegian Lug. But by the time I got to my first event, that was the fan weekend in Denmark, in 2012. That's 3 years ago. Yeah. By the time I got there, I still hadn't met a single adult fan of LEGO. That was in 2012, so that's a bit more than 3 years ago, or almost 3 years ago. Yeah, so it's I was relatively new to everything at that time. But by then I was already in a book, so I sort of entered the whole AFOL community backwards, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
If you want to talk about that, you just mentioned there the book you were in. If you want to talk about how that worked, because I think that's really interesting. You got your models in a book and everything, like you said, kind of before you even entered the AFOL community at large. So you can talk about how that worked for you.
Yeah, it was a bit bizarre because I know normally if you're approached by if you're a LEGO builder and you're approached by somebody. At least if you've been active in the community for a while, if you're approached by somebody who says, I'm doing a book, chances are you know who they are. And you know what they've done, and you know, maybe you know if they've done a book before. At least you would know No Starch Press, because they are publishing all the unofficial LEGO books.
Yeah.
But I didn't. And so when Megan Rothrock, who does the LEGO Adventure books, she sent me a Flickr mail after having seen one of my models got picked up by the Brothers Brick. So it was featured on there. That was the first recognition of any kind that I really had. And then, so she saw that on there, went on my Flickr, had a look through it, and then she contacted me and said, I have been approached by an American publisher who wants me to do a book with adult LEGO builders. And I have two criteria. Number one is they must build interesting models. Number two is they must be able to photograph them properly. She said, you filled these criteria. Are you interested in participating? And I thought, well, why not? I had no idea who she was. At the time, I didn't know who she was. I'd never heard about her. At the time, she was living with Mark Stafford in Billund, who I had no idea who was. I never heard about him. And so I said, well, thought, yeah, why not? That's probably going to be fun. I had no idea. I mean, it could have been a crappy book. I didn't know. So luckily, it wasn't. But and then
not by any stretch of the imagination, a crappy book. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the first book, she basically just grabbed. Well, I asked her, "What are you interested in?" She said, "Well, your cars are nice. That's what I want to do." We picked some models off my Flickr. I just gave her the photos to edit, basically. And she said, "I need a breakdown from for one of the models." So we just picked one and said, "Okay, I'll do the breakdowns for this." Just pulled it apart, photographed it, sent her the images. And that's pretty much it for the first book. So I just did what I had to do, gave her the pictures, and then boom, it was a book. So it was a very, very interesting thing. And then, of course, the after Scareback, after the first event, where she was, that's partly why I went there. And my idea was, this is probably going to be very weird. There's going to be a lot of freaks. I'm going to go there and just have all my prejudice about this community confirmed, and then I can go back home and go back and build my stuff in my room with my lamps and stuff, and just do my own thing. You
did not have high expectations going in.
No, not exactly. No, I have to say. So yeah, and then obviously over the next year, I think I went to events in Norway, Denmark, the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, and Portugal. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that I was wrong. There are some interesting people in this community, and yeah, it's good. Then she asked if I would care to participate in the second book, and I thought, well, I knew who was going to be in. I mean, I knew who was in the first book, and I knew who were going in the second book, and I thought I'd be stupid not to say yes. But I knew I needed to sort of up my game a bit. I just couldn't just repeat the thing with just cars. So I built a big gas station. I have the book here. I built a big gas station with a parking deck on top. Just to sort of expand the idea of cars, but to make it a bit bigger.
Service with a smile, Bill?
Yes, that's this.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So and there's a few. There's on the second on the parking deck. There's a hot rod club building, which is a modern interpretation of a classic set from the 90s. And there's some hot rods, which are also part of what I like building. So I have one of the hot rods here. This is yeah.
Nice. Okay. Very cool.
This is the Sweet Yellow. This is the name of this, without a W. Yeah. So so I built that for the second book. It's still the biggest thing I've built. And Megan kept saying, well, you don't need to build anything this big. And I was like, well, I want to. And it just grew bigger and bigger. Partly because after I finished almost the entire ground floor, I put one of my cars on it, and I realized this car is much too big for this. It needs to be much bigger, because it couldn't turn the corners or anything. I made like a ramp up to the parking deck, and it couldn't turn the corners. So I had to do everything again. But yeah, it ended up being very, very nice. It's probably the build that I'm most happy with still, and it's very nice that just happens to be the model that is in the book, which is so it's a good coincidence that.
That's really cool. Now she did 1 and she did 2. Is she on her third one? Do you know?
I saw the. I've known this for a while because I know her, but I saw the list. Bricks had just published a list of official and unofficial Lego books due out this year, and it says Lego Adventure Book Volume 3 in August. So yes.
Okay.
Very cool.
So yeah, if you were a fan of number 1 and number 2, then number 3 is coming soon for you. So keep an eye out on that, I guess.
I can if I can just do the tiny little bit of advertising. I'm not involved. I'm not involved in number 3, so I can say this. But what I like about these books is that you can read them. It's not just a bunch of pictures or instructions or whatever. It's a story, so you can read it from start to finish. And the third one is going to be the same. So I like that about them. They're a bit different because of that.
Yeah, that is really cool, because I think most of the Lego books kind of fall in the categorization of being like just a series of instructions or just a series of pictures with like no descriptions.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those books are definitely fantastic.
I like them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very cool. That's definitely a fascinating way you kind of got into the Lego community there, kind of through a backwards route, like you said, but still a really interesting backstory there. And obviously, you've put out a lot of awesome builds since then. Some that I wanted to make sure we talked about. You said, I believe you mentioned a couple times, you have a series of updated builds. So you take like original Lego sets and then update them for modern times. If you just want to talk about some of those, I think you have a few built there that you can show us, if that's possible.
Yeah. The idea came with there was this old delivery van from the 80s, a red one with a yellow package on the side and some arrows and stuff. It's very, very tiny. And I thought I like the new look that with the cars of Lego City today. I like the look. It's a bit more streamlined, a bit bigger, and more detailed, and really just more realistic than it used to be back in the day. So at the same time, I like the original ones because emotionally I'm attached to those, because that's my childhood. That's what I grew up with. So I thought, can I take the essence of that, and just move it into the way that stuff looks today, because I like the new look as well. So I tried that with that old car, and I just kept the basic proportion. It's very stubby, so I kept I made it 6 wide because it's a van, so it's 6 wide, and then it was 4 studs wide and 8 studs long, so now it's 6 studs wide and 12 studs long. I've kept the same colors. I've kept some of the same details. It has a tailgate that opens like this, like the original. And then I managed to get hold of some original unused stickers from this, and this is 1982.
What?
So they are 33 years old. I think that was from some guy in New Zealand, and how that happens, I don't know. I mean, 1982, he buys this set, he opens it, thinks, oh, this is a nice set, I'm going to build it. What do I do with these stickers? No, maybe I'll keep them, because at some point I'm sure there's a Norwegian guy who's going to update this.
In the next 30 years.
Keep it. Yeah, in 30 years or so.
He had you in mind, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
I've heard people making reproductions of Lego stickers that are that old, but those were like original.
Yes, I bought for some of the updates I've done. It's just impossible to get hold of original stickers. But if I can find original stickers, I will use them. And the quality is amazing. It's like it's brand new. It just comes off even the transparent stickers comes off the paper, sticks to the brick like it was. I mean, that's the one thing they're supposed to do. Stick. It's a sticker. Yeah. But I bet if you take the modern stickers of today, in 30 years, I don't think that's gonna be quite like that.
Like 1 year.
So, yeah, very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it started with that one. I built it, I posted it online, and then I got a lot of comments from people who said, that's a very good idea. I can't remember having seen anybody do that before, and I thought, well, I'll do some more then. So I built another 3 or 4 cars. Then I built some vans, and then I built some smaller cars and some race cars and stuff, and then And then the second book came up, and I built the Hot Rod Club. So that was the first building I did. And then it's just sort of escalated from there. And now the whole series counts, I think, 32 sets by now that I've done, that I've updated, including 6 buildings. And the buildings, they tend to grow a lot. So it's just because then again, that's that genetic failure with all the interiors. So it needs to be detailed, and so they grow a lot. Typically, the buildings that were on an 8x16 base plate are now on a 32x32 base plate. So so the original can't be big because the updated one will just be too massive. But I have an example here I can show you. This is I've got a couple of builds here that I've built a while ago. They've been on display at Brick in London and at Lego World in Copenhagen, but I haven't gotten around to taking pictures of them yet, so they are not online. So this is the internet premiere.
Okay, this is an exclusive right here.
I was going to try to put this back together, but this is the original. This is the original Cycle Fix-It shop from 1986 or something like that, 5 or 6.
Classic set, yeah.
Yeah, this is what happens when it's in the suitcase. Not a good sound, but yeah. So I've updated that. I ended up with this thing here. So this is basically what it will end up looking like. So it's got, as you can see, it's the same basic principle. It's got these beams on the roof. It's got a flat roof because the original one has. It has a slightly different sign because the old one has signs with the old type of motorcycle, and the new one can't have that because they've changed the motorcycle type since then. But I've kept I've taken it from I just cut the sticker from one of the newer city sets, and I kept the black stripe underneath because there's a black stripe underneath in the original sign. Then so I kept, and the colors need to be the same. It's black and yellow. It's also got red trim around the windows and doors because that's how it is with the original one. But then of course it needs to be more detailed. So the garage opens up.
Okay, nice.
You love the little. You have like a ramp up into the garage.
Yes, there's a lift for the for a motorcycle. You can also, the whole roof is built sideways and it just lifts off like this. So the whole thing is you don't know. Oh well, things tend to fall out if you try to open it. But yeah.
Wow! Look at that.
This is what it looks like inside.
I see, like you have a little counter there, like supposed to be trophies behind up in the shelf.
Yes.
Oh,
you weren't lying when you said you like to do details on the inside of your buildings.
That is awesome.
Yeah. This is what it looks like. There's also there's some detail here in the.
Oh, I love
garage.
the little block between the windows. Yeah. And the tool. That is.
There's a water.
The water cooler.
Yeah.
Water cooler, yeah.
Oh, I like the. Are those supposed to be cups in the?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so
you got
in the back.
yeah.
And there's a sliding door. There's a sliding door in the back. Yeah. So that's what.
That is awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
And something I love about those buildings, and this one obviously, and then as I was looking at photos of the other ones as well, is that you still definitely maintain the look of the original model. You can look at the original model and look at this and be like, yeah, that's definitely inspired by the original model, and yet you add in all these awesome details and just make it look so much cooler while still maintaining that same look from the first model.
Well, that's the idea. I mean, at events, I have people walk past the table and I display them with the original sets. So I normally put 8 versions on one side of the table and the original sets on the other side of the table. And people will walk past my side of the table and they will point to stuff and say, yeah, I remember I used to have that. And I go, no, you didn't. And they go, yes, I did. No, you didn't. You used to have the one over there, the tiny one on the other side. So, what? It's that small? Really? It's that small? Yeah, it's just your hands have gotten bigger since you were a kid. So, but I mean, if that happens, then it means I've succeeded, because if they can recognize the old models from my versions, then that's good. I have another one as well, if you just want to have a look.
Sure.
This is sort of cheating, because this is a model that I never had as a kid, but it's one that I really wanted. So I saw it in the catalogs, and so this is pretty much after I got the Cafe Corner. This is one of the first models I got, because I knew I could just get it myself, and so I bought it from an Italian seller on eBay. I think that was before I discovered Bricklink. So I knew that at some point I wanted to do an updated version of that, but it's so big that I knew that if I was to update it, it would just be massive. So I ended up with something that the reason why I haven't photographed this yet is it doesn't fit in my light tent. So yeah, this is the
Oh wow.
yeah, you have the front end here with the truck, obviously, and there's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a cab. There is room for a figure to lie down in the sleeper cab. Yeah, so just a little bit of detail and stuff,
and you even
and
have
all the stickers.
the guards on the back of it. That's awesome.
Yeah, all the stickers are Lego stickers, so they're just cut from different sets.
Wow.
This also has the added bonus of being able to open the hood, and there's a tiny little engine in there.
Lawnmower engine, right?
What?
A lawnmower engine, right? Little.
Yeah, it says V8 on the car, but I don't know. It probably wouldn't be able to pull anything, I think. But yeah. So that's and there's a So then there's the tailgate and stuff too. Yes. But again, the idea is to keep the colors of the original. If you just have a look at it, it's just there's a blue stripe going along the top of them like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's this yellow one, which I've repeated there, and then yeah, pretty much.
Got the yellow lights there on the front, on each side.
I like the curvature of yours much better than the original.
That's
what you can do now with the modern parts. You couldn't really do that back in the days. So yeah, I've also done. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't know if. Yeah, those are.
Is it a window with a sticker?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that comes off really well.
It's a sticker from an old idea book. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Looks like I modeled this off of Kenworth. That's what it's supposed to be, I think. So yeah, and then again with the trailer, it's just I kept the sticker design. Yeah. I had 2 old Lego idea books, and by some coincidence, this sticker is in the idea books as well, not just in this set. They're also in the idea books. So I had 2 of them. So because this is longer, there's 2 on each side. So yeah, but it works. That's the.
That works out really well, actually.
Yeah, that's the general idea of the updates, just to try to keep the iconic details so people will recognize them.
Sure.
And were some of these sets really hard for you to track down? You said you've done something like 30 some of them now. Were some of these hard for you to find, or could you find these all on like eBay or Bricklink?
No, some of them are actually, well, the idea was always to do the ones that I had. So, I mean, the ones I had are very easy to find. I just have to go back to my parents' place and dig them out from underneath the bed. But apart from that, there's definitely a few. I've always been intrigued by the special editions, the stuff that you had in the U.S. that we never had in Europe, and or yeah, so stuff like that. So yeah, I've done a few that were U.S. only. They're not really that hard to find. The worst one thus far, I think, was probably I did a remake of a Japanese promotional set, a Coca-Cola promotional set, which is it's a pickup truck with the Santa Claus and a polar bear and a tree, and so it's a very strange one. It's from 2000, I think, so it's the newest one I've done, and it's a horrible set because you can see that it's from the year 2000. It's right in smack in the middle of the worst part of the Lego history, so it's a very, very badly designed set. But I didn't get it because I liked it. I got it because I knew what I could do with it. I wanted to build the update. So
you saw the potential there.
Yeah. So that's sort of the other way around. It's not like I wanted to build the updated. I knew that I could build a nice updated version, so I had to get the old bad set as well. So yeah, so that's probably the one that has been the most hard to find. I got it from a seller in Japan, and it's in a box. It's in a tiny, tiny, tiny little box, which opens up to form sort of a backdrop for the model. So it's very different kind of packaging from normal Lego sets. And the first one I bought from a Japanese seller was just in pristine condition, and I couldn't get myself to open it. So I actually bought a second one that was not in very good condition, so I could open it and build it. So I have an unopened one because I just like the packaging so much.
Awesome. So yeah, so some really cool sets you've done there. That's so cool there. Now, do you have any sets in mind that you're going to do in the future? I don't know if you've got a couple classic sets that you're planning to do here in the near future.
Yes, I don't know how near it will be, but definitely going to do some more of them. One that I've wanted to do is the pizza to go.
Oh, I was getting ready to say, have you done the pizzeria? Because that was reissued as a Legends set, right?
It was, yeah. But this is the original. This is the old one, and this is the one that I had. So this is this has genuine Norwegian dust on it. So it's, but it's so yeah, I'm gonna do that at some point. That's probably might be the next building I'll do. It's nice because it's also got a car, so that's an extra incentive for me to do it. Also, one that I had to buy the original because I didn't have it. I'm going to do this one.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and that's a very, very nice one. It's a promotional, so it's rare. So I got this off, I think the same eBay seller that sold me the Japanese truck had this one, and the fact I just have to open it for you because you need to see this. It's from a 94 or 5, I think. I opened it. You know, when you buy stuff off eBay, you don't really know. I think this was. I don't know if this was eBay or Bricklink. I think maybe it was Bricklink. You don't really know what you're gonna get. So I just get this, and the box is in pristine condition. There's no damaged corners or anything. It's just really, really nice. I open it up. The inside tray is in great condition. The truck is built, and it's lovely. The stickers have been beautifully applied. There's no discoloration. It's all fine. Then I see there's the instructions, and they are just they've never been folded. And no punch holes. Wonderful. Then I find this. So this is the tiny little brochure from that year that was with it. So that's in there. So okay, so this is pretty original. Then I find this, which is the residue from this is the sticker sheet. The rest of the sticker sheet. And then I find this.
The bag?
Which is the original bag.
Oh my!
With the spare parts.
Oh my!
Oh wow!
So when they listed it as used complete, they weren't lying.
It's reasonably safe to say that this is an original set, I think, and quite lightly used. I think, yeah.
What's the name of this seller?
Yeah, that was jackpot for that. So yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. So yeah, so I'm gonna get that. And the obvious thing is when you look at it, you see, okay, you're gonna need some parts in this color, and they don't do this color anymore because they changed the color from on the latest Maersk ship. It's not the same color anymore. It's a different blue. So the best way to get that is to buy a Maersk train set. So I've done that. just to update this, I've bought a Maersk train set that I'm gonna just scavenge for parts for that. So yeah, that's probably gonna be. That's also another one that's coming up. And I've got some other ideas as well, but we'll see. We'll see what time allows.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think another thing I noticed is that I think you do most of your building digitally, like on the computer. So how does that work for you, and what do you find are the advantages of that versus building, with the physical bricks?
It's a question I find very hard to answer because I don't build with physical bricks.
Okay, you don't do any at all? Okay.
No, I used to, but the reason I started building when I came back to Lego after my Dark Ages, I built everything digitally because I didn't have a collection to build from. So that was the reason originally, and then I found out that I liked it. I've never really come to terms with LDD. So I use LDraw and an MLCAD. I like that better, even if it's slightly less intuitive. When you get into it, you.
Usually, software with a learning curve has a learning curve for a reason, because when
Yes.
you get over that learning curve, it's just like dead simple, right?
Yeah, so I like that better. But so I find I've talked to people that say, I really need to try to build more digitally. I think that could probably be a good experience for me. And I think the exact opposite. I really need to build more with physical bricks because I think that would be good for me. So I think a bit of both is probably a good idea. But yeah, I find now that I have difficulties just sitting down and free building. I'm currently trying to build a spaceship because I was challenged by Mark Stafford to be in the Starfighter telephone game on Flickr. So I said, yeah, that'll be nice. I'll just try to challenge myself and get outside my comfort zone, and that's going to be a good thing for me. And now I'm terrified because I ended up being no pressure really because this is
Mark Stafford, no pressure.
No, but this is what I'm trying to follow.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if you can see from that green spaceman where this came from.
Green spaceman.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a Pete Reed model, the guy who designed the exosuit. So I got this from Pete, and I'm supposed to build a spaceship based off this and send it to somebody else. No pressure there. So now I'm sitting down with MLCAD trying to build a spaceship and finding it just very, very difficult. But I am going to get that done by June because I need to bring it to Brickworld Chicago for the Eurobricks collaboration project, which is going to be space themed. So I have that pressure on me. I need to get it done by then. So we'll see what it ends up as.
As long as there's a deadline, right?
Yeah, I know.
I love deadlines.
I don't. I'm a journalist. I hate them.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's what I was just thinking when you said that. You're probably used to it and do not like them at all.
No, not good. Not good.
Yeah.
They're bad for creativity.
It's true, right? But then it maybe there's it's like evil, but then at the same time, staying up late to make sure you have it on time. You actually do have something by the.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I might like deadlines. Just the procrastinator in me likes it, somewhat. Yeah. But then the creativity, it just all goes to pieces. Yeah, I don't know. Deadlines are evil. How about that? Yeah, we'll leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned Brickworld Chicago there because that's what I was going to ask you about next. Is what conventions do you think you'll be able to make it to this year, and will you be displaying models at those?
Yeah. Well, first up is going to be I was at Lego World in Copenhagen in February. I've been there once before, but just as a visitor, so this was the first time as an exhibitor. I thought it'll be good to do that as an exhibitor once, just to see what it's like. Then it's going to be the Norwegian event at the end of April. And then I'm going to Chicago for Brickworld, my first US event, which I'm excited about. I'm curious to see what that's like. I'm curious to see how you guys do it over there. It's I've heard that it has a different vibe to the European events. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And then fall is sort of the high season. That's when I normally tend to go to a lot of stuff. So there's going to be probably at least 3 events. I'm going to Scareback to the fan weekend, which is now for the first time not an official Lego thing. It's just called, instead of the Lego fan weekend, it's the Scareback fan weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what that will be like this year.
So it's going to be organized by external people, not by the Legos, like the community events engagement team is not...
No, it's always been a collaboration between Lego and the Danish Lug. And now it's basically going to be the Danish Lug, as far as I've understood. So yeah, there'll be quite a few of the same people. But there's also I know a few of the people that are heavily involved, and they're good people. So I'm sure it's going to be a nice event. Then I'll probably go to the show called, well, it's called the Great Western Brick Show. It's nicknamed Steam. It's in Swindon in the UK. That's in October. That's normally the weekend after Scareback. So I'm going to try to go there if my schedule permits, and then I'm going to go to at least hoping to go to Brick in London again. They've moved that so it's early December this year, which fits better with my schedule than November anyway. So. And
it was held on the end of November, right?
Yeah, but they've moved it, I think, a week or two into December. Okay. So better for me, closer to Christmas, more of a reason to go Christmas shopping and stuff. So it fits better for me. But some people seem to think it's worse for them. So I don't know. What works for somebody works less for some other people. So, yeah. So that's the general idea. Norway, Chicago, Denmark, and 2 UK events. That's what it's going to be.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're racking up the airline miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not bad. Yeah, getting around quite a bit there, so that's really cool. So if people want to see your builds in person, I'm sure they'll have a chance even at a show in the US and then several over in Europe as well. Yeah,
I'll be bringing all of the updated classics to the US anyway, so they just about fit in a huge suitcase, and yeah, they seem to have fared all right. I just pulled these out today for the first time after Denmark, and I managed to put these back together in 5 minutes. So it seems yeah. So hopefully the people on the nice people of Lufthansa won't be
what is that?
Mean to them. Never know.
Never know. Baggage.
No.
And that's very cool. So we'll look forward to. We'll be at Brickworld Chicago again this year. That's kind of one of our big events we do each year. So we'll look forward to meeting you there in person. Definitely, that should be really awesome.
Yeah, cool.
And something else I wanted to make sure we asked you about was an interesting story you had from a few years ago buying the Taj Mahal. I think this was shortly after you might have gotten back into Lego. If you want to talk about that story, kind of one of your weird interactions you might have had with your time in the Lego community.
Yeah, I bought the I have the Statue of Liberty and I have the Eiffel Tower. So I thought, well, I'll buy the Taj Mahal because it's in the same series, and the completist in me said, you need to have these. I bought the Taj Mahal. I also bought the Tower Bridge. But the Taj Mahal just sat around for such a long time because it's such a big build that I didn't really have anywhere to put it. So I always planned to build it. That's why I bought it. But then I just didn't have anywhere to put it, and I also talked to some people who had built it, and they said it was kind of a repetitive build anyway. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll just pass on it then. And then at some point it just was discontinued, and the prices started to rise. And then I walked into I live in Bergen on the west coast of Norway, second largest city in Norway, and I the biggest the toy store with the biggest Lego section. I walked in there one day, and they have some discontinued sets, and they had a Taj Mahal on their shelf at 8,000 kroner, which is roughly $1,300 US dollars at the time,
Wow.
which was quite a lot more than I bought it for, even though I didn't buy it in Norway because I couldn't get it in Norway. And then part of my brain went, what if? And then I just walked up to one of the people there and said, would you? I have one of these in pristine condition in my bedroom, just sitting there with a little bit dust on it, but all the seals intact. And would you be interested in buying this from me? And the guy said, no, we never buy from people. But if you would be interested in a voucher, like an IOU note, then we'll be willing to give you a voucher for the amount that's on the price tag of the one sitting on the shelf. So I went back home. I brought my Taj Mahal, I brought the Tower Bridge, and I bought a Harry Potter set that I didn't want, and I just brought it to them, and I said, fine, see if there's anything you like, and we'll write you a voucher for the rest of the amount. So I walked back out with the town hall, and the biggest voucher I've ever had, and for the next few years, every time I went into that store and found something I liked, I just pulled out the voucher and said, well, here's my voucher. Just subtract the number from the amount from that voucher. So they did, and I still have the voucher. I've sort of filled it back up with some other sets, but so I've still got the voucher.
Have they sold the sets that you supplied them?
No. I think I still have both of them. But the price tag doesn't say 8,000 anymore; it says more. So yeah, but because the prices are, I mean, the real prices are higher. So yeah, but no, they still haven't sold them.
Arrangement. You just keep supplying them with Lego sets, and then they'll just keep increasing that voucher amount.
Yeah. But the funniest thing about it is that at some point I walked into the store, got some stuff that I wanted, went to the counter. And the girl behind the counter said, well, that'll be this and this amount, and I pulled out the voucher and I said, well, can you just please deduct it from this voucher? And she took the voucher, and she looked at the voucher, and she looked at me, and she said, it's you. You're the guy with the crazy big voucher. We talk about you at lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're the topic of their conversation.
Yeah, I had a similar conversation with a guy at the Oslo branch, which is about 500 kilometers away, because I tried to pay with the same voucher there, and he went, yeah, we've heard about this voucher from the people in Bergen. So yeah, I seem to be famous within that franchise, I think.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Go you.
Some fun Lego experiences there, kind of buying and reselling a few sets like that. It worked out pretty well for you in the end, then, it sounds like.
Yeah, but my intention was never to sell it. So I think that's the moral of the story. You might end up gaining some money, but don't go into it with that. With that as the intention, I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah. And something we wanted to make sure we asked you about here was, while we had you on the show, was the Bricks magazine. Now, this is something that's made for people who followed a lot of Lego news in the community. This is, you might have seen some posts about this on sites like Brickset and other sites. New Lego magazine popping up. And so I believe you are you're going to be a contributor to that as we see more issues here come out in the near future. If you can just talk a little bit about what that is and what type of content will be in there, and maybe what you're specifically planning to submit in the future.
Yeah, no issues are out yet. They're due out within a month, in April at some point. I know that the people behind it are working like crazy to get stuff ready to have the magazine out. I don't really know that much about it because my involvement with it is limited to being asked to provide content and agreeing to provide content. Basically, for the first, well, there's two magazines. It's Bricks and it's Bricks Culture. And as far as I've understood, Bricks is a monthly magazine, which is probably going to be much like Blocks because it's the same guy that used to be an editor for Blocks is now an editor for Bricks, and it was his idea and his vision originally. So that's probably it's going to be similar to that. But then there's also going to be a second magazine called Bricks Culture, which is a quarterly magazine. Which, again, as far as I've understood, is supposed to be more of a coffee table kind of thing, glossy, also trying to reach. It's a magazine about Lego for people who aren't necessarily that interested in Lego. So it's going to be more of the people behind it, more about the art of Lego, less about building techniques and new sets and stuff. It's it's a more artsy kind of thing. So and that's why I said yes, because that kind of a magazine is more what I would have liked Blocks to be. It's also not well, at least not in the beginning. It's not going to be sold in newsstands, so it's going to be an internet thing, which means that you don't have to design a cover to sell, so you don't really have to put everything that's in the magazine on the cover to promote the magazine on the shelf, which means you're also free to design more artistic, more appealing covers. So the cover that I've seen for Bricks Culture for now, it's only a mock-up. Obviously, it's not going to end up looking exactly like that, but that looks very promising, and it sort of conveys the feeling of what I would hope it ends up being, just a slightly more classy kind of thing. So yeah, so my involvement, it ended up being I really wanted to do something for the first issue because it feels like a cool thing to be able to participate in the first issue, to be a part of what actually to help get it on the shelves. Well, it's not going to be on the shelves, but getting it out.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the people behind it, Tim Johnson and Mark Guest, they were just sort of swamped with work and had this list of stuff that they would ideally want to do but didn't seem to have the time for. So they just asked me, is there anything here that you might like to do? And I said, well, yeah, I'd like to do that article. I can do that. So I ended up doing that, and so I have an article in the first issue. I don't think I should say what it is, but it's I think there's some stuff in there that's going to be interesting for people, and it's not something that it's not a kind of article that you will currently find on the internet, which is also, I think, quite an important thing for a magazine, is to provide content that you cannot get for free on the internet.
Sure, and like you mentioned with the Bricks Culture, it's like it's something that's like it's just beautiful to look at. Like it's just a nice design, and so it's in of itself it's something like worth seeking out because it is so different than just looking at a blog. It's something physical. It's just pretty. I don't know.
That's what I hope.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. A lot of people say, well, why would I pay a lot of money for something that I can get for free on the internet? Well, that's the point. We're going to have to provide some content for you that you can't get for free on the internet. So yeah, that's going to make your decision easier.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. I think that's definitely the big number one key with not just this, pretty much any magazine. There's so much content out there on the internet. You have to somehow set yourself apart. Whether it's the quality of the writing or whatever it might be, there has to be something there that's like this is worth paying for. Here's why you should do this, and not just go to these 10 different blogs on the internet every day to get your Lego fix for whatever you might want to see. So hopefully there is some stuff like that in the magazine that will make it worth people signing up for it.
Yeah, hopefully. Also, like, I mean, why would you buy a magazine to read reviews that you can read elsewhere for free? When, I mean, by the time the magazine gets out, it's probably almost outdated anyway. And definitely, if you go back to the magazine later, it will be outdated. So it needs to be the ideal content is stuff that you cannot get for free on the internet, and stuff that is more timeless than that doesn't get outdated very quickly.
Yeah, evergreen content. So it's good to read any time of the year. Yeah. That's awesome. Definitely.
Yeah, and so it should be something cool to look forward to there. We'll look forward to. Do you know when the first issue is being released?
It's there is a date. You'll find it in the press release, I think, on Brickset, but it's in April, so it's before May.
And do you know what the plans are for like international selling?
No, it's all going to be distributed online. I don't know. I know there's been some issues with distribution and people trying to order the magazine, and that they haven't been able to on the website and stuff, and and all that is very regrettable and stuff. But I don't know anything about that. But I know because it's sold online, you can get it anywhere. But it's possible you'll probably have to pay to get it. But yeah.
I will definitely be keeping an eye out for that magazine and keeping an eye out for your contributions. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
For sure. Cool. And I'll make sure to put a link to the Bricks magazine website in the description of the video here, so if you want to check that out and kind of keep an eye on when the first issue is released and see if it's something that you'd be interested in getting on a monthly basis, then definitely I'll have that information in the description for you to check out. And I think to finish it out for us tonight, if you've noticed as we've been talking here, you've got that great photo there on the wall behind you, and I wanted to make sure we talked about that because I think there's a really cool story behind that there. So that is a Mike Doyle creation, and we've had Mike Doyle on the show before, so people might be familiar with him. Really incredible builder, some awesome builds he's done. If you just want to talk about that build a little bit, and I think you actually have a chunk of that build that with you, so I don't know if you have that nearby that you can show as well.
Yeah. You asked me before the show about if I have any favorite builds from other Lego builders, and I could mention a lot, and there's a lot of great stuff that appeals to me for different reasons, but I would be lying if I didn't say that this is my favorite piece of all time. The whole Abandoned Buildings series by Mike Doyle is I think the whole series. There's 3 of them. They're all very nice, but this is the best one. It's also the biggest one, and it's just, you can't see it properly, but you'll know it. You'll have seen it before. I mean, if you have any interest in Lego, this is one of the pieces that you will just have seen. I realized that Mike sold prints of these. So this is a print that it's a limited edition or something print. But then I realized that he was actually also selling print and then print and chunk. Print and chunk.
Chunk of the Berlin Wall.
Well, this is interesting. So I just wrote him and said, well, this means a chunk of the actual building, because he doesn't. It's just basically it's so big and there's so many bricks in it that he can't have it built, because he wouldn't have any bricks to build his next work of art with. So yeah, he said that I've disassembled it, but I've kept some chunks of it, some pieces, and if you're interested, I can sell you the refrigerator, which is protruding from the first floor, from the wall on the first floor. I thought, well, yeah, cool. That's very nice. And the price wasn't crazy. I thought, well, this is reasonable. I can do that. So he sent me the picture, and he sent me the refrigerator. And I thought, well, you look at this and you think, if you don't study it, you think, oh, it's nice, it's big, it's probably maybe it's this big, and it's not, because and then you think, oh, the refrigerator looks like a nice little piece. The problem is the refrigerator is this big.
Wow.
Next to my head. So
that's ridiculous.
So it sort of gives you an idea of how enormous this piece must be. Yeah. So he sent this to me. It's not glued, so it didn't appear. It didn't arrive in quite this condition, and he didn't provide instructions. Strangely enough. So yeah, I asked him, can you please send me some pictures of this so I can put it back together? And he basically sent me blown up pictures of this, versions of this, just detailed shots. So I think it's pretty much what it's supposed to be. But yeah, it's just I think this is just one of my most prized possessions, because it's an actual piece of the best Lego model I have ever seen anybody build.
That's really awesome.
It is very, very nice.
What's crazy is that when you look at, like, from where I can see the photo in the shot that you're in, it doesn't look like it's even Lego. It looks like a model of something,
yeah.
But it's not made out of Lego. It doesn't even render as Lego. It's
No.
like so detailed and just an awesome build. Yeah.
It's amazing, I think, and of all, I mean, he's built some amazing stuff. Period. All his stuff is amazing, but this is the number one, really, for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really is an incredible builder. Like I mentioned, we've had him on the show before, so if you're interested in hearing more about his work, I'll go ahead and throw a link to his interview in the description of the video here. So if you aren't familiar with Mike Doyle's work, check that out.
And Mike Doyle's work, because yeah,
you can hear more about it from the builder himself there. So very, very cool. That's awesome that you were able to get a piece of the build as well. It's really cool that he was able to send that to you.
Yeah.
And I think that does finish it out for us tonight. It was great having you on the show. It was so cool to get your thoughts from the Norwegian Log there that you're a part of, and the shows you've been able to go to, and then hearing about some of your updated set builds that you do and things like that. And that's all really awesome stuff you're working on there. And we'll look forward to seeing you at Brickworld Chicago as well. So very cool. I really appreciate you coming on the show with us tonight.
Well, thank you. It was I was very, very flattered to be asked. So yeah, it's been an honor.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, and before we end here, I wanted to remind everyone about the Brick Builders Club at brickbuildersclub.com. You can start receiving your monthly box of really cool Lego content, like custom stickers, custom pieces, and even Lego T-shirts, all sorts of cool stuff like that. So you can check that out at brickbuildersclub.com. And I'd encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube page here at Beyond the Brick to keep up to date with all of our latest videos and our weekly show episodes here. You make sure you never miss one of those. Just hit subscribe, and you always get those in your YouTube inbox. So thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you soon.